All right, what's up, everybody? It is the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and I am joined by gaming journalist, podcasting veteran, my boy Tick Kal-El. How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. Hanging in there. Big news from Microsoft today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this happens once a week, like some sort of major partnership. I mean, if we go back a couple weeks, it was Bethesda. And now it looks like Microsoft just helped GameStop stock go up a little bit. Every time we get GameStop in the news, it's pretty much how much stores they done close, or they're looking for a new CEO or whatever. But it looks like they've came to a partnership with Microsoft, and Microsoft is going to help them more so on the back end. I joked around every now and then when GameStop was first going to sell. I was like, well, Xbox can always buy them. right. But this clearly, I guess, isn't that. But it's more so of a move. It appears to make to keep GameStop alive and make them run more efficiently. You know, I feel like every time I go into GameStop, they're running off like 1998 software, and it's just. I guess this is not only does it help them, it also kind of helps Xbox. Now, when this news came out, I kind of ran across your Twitter, and you said, "Yeah, this is exactly what I talked about in 2015." And we know back in 2015, you're going heavy with the tick shows and then the pod shots and whatnot. And so I kind of just wanted you to elaborate a little bit on because I watched a lot of the podcasts, and you talked about so many things, different ideas or different things you could see going down and whatnot. So I'm just, and now that some things have happened between now and then, I haven't really got the opportunity to hear from you a lot on these subjects since they happened. So I kind of wanted you to just try to kind of tell everybody your thoughts. What does this mean? What does this mean for the customer? What does it mean for Microsoft? What does it mean for GameStop? And what do you see moving forward?
I mean, for the customer, it don't really mean anything. This is really just a move for Microsoft to expand their subs, excuse me, and go ahead and use their infrastructure to profit off of GameStop. I mean, that's just the reality of it. It's not like they actually bought the entire GameStop. They just, just have a small partnership with them. Seems similar to they have a partnership with the NFL. You got the NFL using, those surfaces on the field. They're using Microsoft cameras and using the Microsoft camera to do replays and stuff like that. So it's not really like Microsoft is truly benefiting from or the customer or consumer is truly benefiting from it. With this deal, the way it looks like is Microsoft is looking at GameStop using their infrastructure. Maybe GameStop's infrastructure is outdated and pretty old. So, they're talking about having them use surfaces on the floor, not having to be behind the counter. Microsoft Teams, being able to communicate with other stores by Microsoft Teams. Maybe you don't have to make that phone call. Maybe you can just call up a store from Microsoft Teams and, actually have a screen with them, being able to access inventories through, Azure or whatever they have in the cloud. So that way you can see what you have live from any store in the area and everything like that. But I think the biggest thing for them is the whole sub situation. Microsoft having a relationship with GameStop allows them to allow GameStop employees to push Xbox Game Pass. So it's like, okay, you want to buy this game, you can get it from Game Pass. You want to get this console, you can get Game Pass with it. And that's something that GameStop doesn't do. It's not like they bring it up. They're always pushing their little subscription with the Game Informer and stuff like that. So that makes sense. But
dude. Never mind. I'm gonna let you finish because you just gave me a freaking idea. But go ahead.
Yeah, but with Microsoft now, you have an opportunity to use one of the largest retail stores in the world. When it comes to gaming and merchandise, to push your subscription model. And I think, look, Microsoft was going all in. They are going in heavy. Next generation, you're gonna have them pushing all access, which allows you to play, get a console through credit. $24 and $34 a month for the S and X. You got Bethesda purchase now, or should I say ZeniMax purchase now, and that comes with a plethora of studios. And you're going to have some games that'll continue to stay multi-plat, which I think will be the MMOs, and a lot of those single-player games going forward, I think will be exclusively on the Xbox and in Game Pass, and obviously PC. But I don't think it's going to go to any other console. I just don't see it happening. So you're bolstering Game Pass. You have all these studios. You're going to have a ton of first-party content from your new studios. And, I mean, what better way to continue to make your subscription model explode by working with one of the largest video game retailers in the world. So I think that, on their part, it's a smart move. A lot of people won't like it. Some people are already talking about monopoly. People are scared, man. People are scared that they woke up this beast that Microsoft is. And you start to see them make some moves, man. And it's really shaking up the industry.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, just to go back on what you said, like, at first, GameStop stores didn't even want to sell Xbox all digitals, because they went completely against their business model. But as times has changed, like we buy and sell used games business model isn't really the same for GameStop anymore, because as they tried to get into closed cell phones and tablets and stuff like that, so there's a lot more stuff in their stores now, other than games and other than used games. You mentioned because GameStop does have a subscription program as well. They have Power Up rewards,
right?
Which I've been a member for many years. Even though I diss GameStop a lot, I've been a Power Up rewards member for many years. I renew every time I have to go in there. And I just thought about it. It's like, hey, actually, how could a GameStop benefit for something like Game Pass? Does Microsoft come to agreement and allow Game Pass to be a part of their Power Up subscription along with Game Informer? It probably increases their Power Up subscription from I think you renew, it's like $15 a year. Maybe it goes up to I don't know, who knows how much it goes up if they do that, or they tier it, which includes could potentially include Game Pass into that. But your thoughts in 2015, how did you see this coming?
Well, I mean, in 2015, it was crazy back then because Microsoft obviously was struggling after about 2 years. And I was having all these thoughts and ideas of ways Microsoft could fix some of the issues that they were having. And one of the biggest issues they had at the time was they had a large Xbox 360 install base, but a lot of the gamers didn't cross over.
Yeah.
So I was talking about how it would be crazy if they did back compat before back compat was even thought of. You know what I'm saying? I was like, a lot of gamers aren't going to leave their libraries behind, or there's people still playing games from last generation and haven't moved over to Xbox yet because Xbox don't have a lot of games right now early on in the generation. But if you were able to bring those games over with you to the new console, it would be more enticing and stuff. I said, and I remember having this interview. I don't know exactly who it was with. I want to say it was with, oh my God. I want to say it was with Xbox Quick.
Oh, Ybarra?
But yeah, Mike Ybarra. But I'm not sure it was him or Aaron Greenberg. But we had one of those guys on the show at the time, and I talked about, what would be really crazy is if you guys were able to do digital trade-ins. And I was like, digital trade-ins, it doesn't make a lot of sense when you first think about it because it's a license. You're not trading in a physical object. That's what makes trade-ins valuable, because when you have a lot of something, the value decreases. And when you don't have a lot of something, the value increases. So trading in a digital license is nothing. You're just getting rid of the license to no longer play the game. But I said, imagine if you were able to get 10% for a digital license, just 10%. Even if you bought the game at $60 and the next day you trade it in for $6, you lose a lot, obviously, and you're gonna feel some type of way about that.
Yeah.
But if you can maintain that 10%, no matter what game it is, for however long it is, whatever the value of the game is at that point, you could really make some crazy changes. Because what winds up happening is, let's say you got a game that's $30. It used to be $60, but now it's $30, so they only give you $3. How many of us have games that we no longer play in our library that we don't even have on our hard drives? games that we would trade in for $1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to get rid of the game and get it out of our libraries. You know, I have 300. I'm sure you have over 400 games. I had 400 games. You're thinking about games from every generation, from the original Xbox to the 360 to the Xbox One. It's like, bro, we could take 10 games, trade it in, and get $30 to put towards a brand new game. And that incentive goes to a new title. So you're basically just taking the credit and putting it right back into the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm looking at it like, man, if they were able to pull off digital trade-ins, 5%, 10% back on any game you want to trade in, I guarantee you people would trade stuff in left and right. They would be cleaning up their libraries, getting rid of games that they no longer play. You know, like I'm sure, like imagine buying Madden digitally. You got every Madden from 2015 to 2020. You're going to get rid of at least 5 of the Maddens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can get a little bit of credit for that, and then put it towards something new, it benefits both the store and it benefits the ecosystem, because people are constantly trading and reinvesting back into the store and getting new games and getting new content or DLC or whatever. Why they don't do that, I don't know. Obviously, because digital trade-ins, again, there's no true value in it. For the person that's receiving the trade. Obviously, it's more like you're giving a credit to people and then receiving that money back. But I think in the long run, if the credit is small enough, the revenue will be bigger in the end.
Yeah, there's so many ideas, but the thing is though, back then, since then, like we had those conversations and you talked about that, Dave did give us the option to gift games, right? Like,
yeah, they did. Aaron Greenberg actually put out a survey a long time ago about how would gamers feel about digital trade-ins.
Yeah.
And we never brought that back up again, but I'm guarantee you it's something that Microsoft has thought about. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely out there. I don't know if GameStop, like if you went to GameStop, maybe they can have like a GameStop app that allows you to trade in digital trade-ins on the Xbox. Again, who knows what the partnership may hold or what it may do. But I'm just saying, if digital traders do pop up, I was one of the first to bring it up.
The thing also with this Xbox, I keep saying Xbox, but this Microsoft GameStop partnership, do you see an increase in Xbox present in GameStop stores, whether it be banners, more shelving, or like?
Nah, I think things will stay the same, but I think you have an extra push from the retailers in pushing Xbox content and subscriptions. I really think that's going to happen. I don't think that because you can't really show bias as a retail store. You know what I'm saying? So the marketing is going to be equal. I think Microsoft will continue to have their stuff in their location, Sony their location, Nintendo their location. But because Microsoft has a subscription service in all these all this access to purchasing their content and their consoles, I think it's going to wind up having GameStop go ahead and push that stuff too, just like they would push their Power Up, pass. And stuff like that. I can see that happen, especially if you're an Xbox gamer. I can see them trying to push Game Pass a lot. Hey, man, you should pick up Game Pass. You pick it up with us, we'll give you 2 months free. Some type of deal like that. Or, hey, this new game is coming out on Xbox. You can get it on Game Pass or whatever. You don't have to buy it at the retail or whatever. Or if you want to get the used game, you can get Game Pass with it. I can see that happening a lot. Well, if somebody wants to buy the console.
Actually, when I went into GameStop to pre-order my Xbox Series S, so I had to get a bundle actually, and actually some of the stuff is coming to me piecemeal, but one of the bundles is like they gave you the Series S, an extra controller, these brand new headsets, the Steel Series, which I just came in the mail today, and 3 months of Game Pass, which I didn't anticipate for the simple fact that it's GameStop, but they've been, they steadily been pushing Game Pass as well, but I can see it becoming more relevant in their stores. And then the bigger thing, and we're going to talk about is, Xbox All Access, right? I've been like, when Xbox All Access first came in, I kept telling people, I was like, dude, when next generation come around, it's not just going to be through Dell stores. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be
Right.
your Walmart, Best Buys. I was like, the only retailer that probably won't do it will be like GameStop. But this is like before they made the announcement and stuff like that. But it's Xbox is ever since since really honestly since December 2019. Actually, no, even since June of 2018. I feel like they've been going in terms of like gaming, with their dedication to gaming. Obviously, adding the studios, with the bold reveal of the Series X in December, going out and getting a ZeniMax, buying a publisher as huge as ZeniMax, which would they could believe it. Think about this, right? What they paid for ZeniMax, they could probably acquire Ubisoft for less. They probably like. When you think about it, but and now with the Xbox All Access and whatnot, I feel like, and then of course they have a bigger presence on TV, as we were talking before. I hit the record button. Game One, they obviously have the marketing rights with Cyberpunk 2077. And they premiered that commercial. The extended version of the commercial premiered during the NBA Finals Game One, with they showing Cyberpunk, and then they close out the ad with the Series X and Series S flash screen, and then Game 3 of the NBA Finals, we get the Taco Bell commercial, which seemed was very focused on the Series X, and Halo Infinite unfortunately is delayed. But it looked like they were prepared to kind of like dominate the airwaves with, whether it be an ad. Wow, Siri, stop it. Whether it be like a TV ad, whether it be being in the public eye, something they're doing, another program. How do you see them? Because I feel like this is not it. We got Bethesda, we got a partnership with GameStop that's probably going to help GameStop more than it helps them. But like, what do you see else moving forward? Because they've been, very aggressive and very, I would say, surprising in their move, because we're not expecting them after these last few years. Xbox, when it came to marketing, they were kind of lukewarm. They didn't really do much. They relied on Xbox dashboard and YouTube and maybe some Twitter. But now we're starting to see them on like the bigger screens, during big events, big games, and now they're announcing acquisitions and showing up on the news the same day. What else do you think we will see from Xbox or Microsoft division as it relates to gaming as we head to launch?
I don't know, man. I think that right now their focus is on building an incredible first party. I think they've done everything that they need to do to put themselves in a position going into the next generation to make a strong comeback and be competitive. And I don't want people to think that comeback is console sales, because that's not what I mean. What I mean is mind share and relevance, because this generation, they had a negative connotation with them throughout the whole generation. And they've sort of been fighting their way uphill. In the beginning of the generation, they weren't too bad. They started out pretty good, and they were launching a lot of good games, and a lot of their games were well received, but it wasn't until about 2016, 2017, mid-gen, when things start to sort of fall apart. You had the cancellation of studios, the cancellation of games, the closing of studios, excuse me. So, and then nothing from first party for years, which really sort of, excuse me, which really sort of set them back. So from that perspective, you look at where they are now, you can see all the work they've done in the time that we didn't get anything, and how Phil's really just turned everything around. You go from just having Halo, Gears, and Forza. Shout out to my man Kid Smooth and his track. And and now you have 23 studios Each studio is doing multiple projects. You have your hands in everything, from engines to what's the word I'm looking for? From engines to actual content that other studios and developers use, like physics engines and
Havoc.
things
I
like
forgot
that.
all about
Yeah,
that.
Havoc. They have their hands in so many things and stuff, and they completely change their focus from sort of being this media box to being an Xbox. It's funny because I talked about this the other day. I was like, a lot of the things that Microsoft wanted to do in the beginning of the generation, they're accomplishing now because people are more comfortable with the digital age. And a lot of things that people laughed at that Microsoft wanted to do, Sony actually did. The whole TV situation, Microsoft never got that off the ground. They still have the Halo series, but that's supposed to be coming out on Showtime, right? Sony actually had a TV show called Powers that released 2 seasons on the console back in 2015. So it's just one of those things where, both consoles were trying to do things differently. It's just that Microsoft got the brunt of it. And it was just easier to ignore whatever PlayStation was doing. So this time around, you're starting to see a little change, in the perception of what Xbox is doing, from the hardware to their software direction. So it looks good. But I think going forward, we're going to see more first party support. They got the hardware. Like I said, you got the most powerful hardware, you got the most affordable hardware. And I think that's something that they're going to continue to stick with each generation as they go forward and push power as one of their things, because Xbox has always been about power. I think also they're giving you access to their ecosystem as the most affordable way possible. Nintendo, you can't get a game discounted on Nintendo if it was 10 years later. It's still going to be $59, $69.99. And Microsoft has Game Pass. They give you options to buy those games. They give you discounts on those games if you're in Game Pass, and or you could just go to the store and buy them outright. Either way, you have access to those games, and then you have access to them from the actual console, through your mobile phone, through the cloud, through a laptop.
Yeah, I almost forgot their
PC.
big push in September with the Galaxy Note 20. With the same launch, xCloud, that and the xCloud launched the same week. So now Xbox Game Pass, right, is there mobile as a mobile option for those on Android phones. Microsoft and Apple have been collaborating on other things. I think I want to believe that pretty soon iOS will be open to Gamecast fairly soon. But yeah, it's like, they're there. You have the access to the Xbox ecosystem kind of everywhere.
Everywhere except for their competition as far as PlayStation, Nintendo, and then obviously you got to include Amazon and Google, and then Apple or whatever. But you have Game Pass as access, and then you have the consoles you can either buy straight out or get through All Access if you have the credit. And they give you options where you don't have to spend $500, $300 up front. You can, chip away at it at $34.99 with nothing down. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's just, it's one of the reasons why I'm like, people look at PlayStation and Nintendo, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, a lot of people are underestimating that Xbox Series S. That console is going to sell more than the Series X. That's going to be the console that sells Xbox the most.
Yeah.
But I can see Microsoft being very competitive in the US, or even retaking the US with that console. Like, I can see that happening as long as they continue to put out good games, and they don't, rest in their laurels.
Yeah. I mean, they have 23 freaking studios, right? There's no excuse why they're actually in position. I thought they were just kind of just like talking when they said they want to put out, 4, big games every year, like every quarter or stuff like that. When you consider their studio count, all right, now they actually can do something like that. Yeah, there's no given how much, like when you consider Bethesda and all their studios, or ZeniMax and all their studios, if you think about it, right, they technically put out a game or so every year by one of their studios. The latest was Doom, right, from id. last year was in 2019. I'm trying to think, what did we get in 2019? I don't know if it was. I know Wolfenstein was 2017, and Dishonored might have been 2018. I feel like, and then Doom 2016 was 2016. Then so I feel like they have the capacity to really do that. And there's obviously studios we haven't heard from, so they can definitely meet that, and they're gonna have to if they're gonna go, if they're gonna go heavy on Game Pass, because the thing that's gonna keep Game Pass alive is not what third party, because you can't trap third party games in there for long term.
Right.
You need the first party in there you have to keep feeding first party in there. And I mean, when you look at what Netflix did, it started out with all of our favorite movies, and then they've eased their first party content in there, and now we're going there for their first party content for Netflix, right? Like
Microsoft has an opportunity to have a snowball effect of games. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing that a lot of people don't acknowledge is that Microsoft has a really, really strong development team with smaller IP. You know what I'm saying? You look at Grounded, you look at Ori and the Blind Forest, Cuphead, some of these indie games that they come out, some of these indie games launch exclusively into Game Pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Day and date. Remember, The Last Night is still a game that's supposed to be coming to the Xbox. That could be a launch title into Game Pass at some point.
Yeah.
You look at that. You launch a game like that, let's say in February. Then you have a mid-tier game, like a AA title that comes out in February, and then in March you drop a big title. A big AAA title like Doom or Prey 2 or something like that. And then the next month you drop another indie title, then a AA title, then a AAA title every quarter. That's a snowball effect that can happen where every month you're getting something new from first party, and it just becomes a role where, bro, every year Microsoft has something for you to play. Some years may be better than others, but especially come holiday season, you imagine the commercials you would have come holiday season. If they drop 4 major AAA games at the end of the year, you can get Xbox Game Pass with Halo Infinite and Forza Motorsport 8 and Starfield. What? That would be major. That would be huge,
bro. Before, because I know we're approaching 30 minutes. What I'll say is that Halo Infinite, I don't know how true this is, but it's rumored to launch June 29th. 2020, based off the book that's coming out. And I was like, the only way you would launch Halo in the summer, unless you got something big in the fall.
Right.
And when I think about the fall, I'm thinking Starfield.
Starfield may be it. They said they when they show games, it's because it's close. We starting to get little images pop out here and there, and it may be close, man. It's been a minute. I remember when they brought up Starfield back in, I think, 2017 was the last time I went to E3. They had that show.
I think they talked about it. They mentioned it in 2018.
2018.
Because I remember watching it on TV. I was there in 2017. At the 2017 show, so I know they didn't mention it there. I remember being on the computer.
2018, okay, yeah. So 2018,
they did the JPEG of Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yep. We was there. I was actually at that event. I remember because they had the Chainsmokers as a musical guest. But that was a pretty dope show. We were outside and they had the thing on a big screen. They had Starfield. They had popped it up there. That was pretty dope. But yeah, you going into 2021? How many years is that? Almost 4 or 5 years in development?
Yeah. It's probably been in development even longer if you consider their last game technically was, what was their last game? Was it Fallout 4 or Fallout 76?
Fallout 76.
So I don't know who did it. It was Bethesda or ZeniMax Online?
For Fallout 76, I think it's Bethesda.
Okay.
Because ZeniMax does
the ESO.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's a possibility, man. It's a very strong possibility. I would like to know what Arcane is working on in some of these other studios. I know, obviously,
isn't Arcane doing Deathloop? pretty much.
I think they are doing Deathloop. I heard they have a new IP. ZeniMax has a new IP
Yeah.
and a new engine that they're working on. So that's going to be
Machine Games should actually be next, since Arcane did the last Wolfenstein. Arcane did the Youngblood game.
The Youngbloods. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
so-
they're working on another Wolfenstein. I would hate for it to be that game because I'm kind of Wolfensteined out. I would like it to be something new, but I don't know, man. I know that Microsoft has a lot to show. I know that much. I mean, we still didn't get anything. We still didn't even see Fable. Like we've only seen like a little teaser of Fable.
Yeah, we didn't see anything from the Initiative, Compulsion. We didn't see anything. Who else we're missing?
I mean, Double Fine has Psychonauts, but I mean that's who knows what they're working on besides that title.
Yeah.
Obviously, Compulsion, and we haven't seen gameplay of Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Project Mara from Ninja Theory as well. So there's a lot of games that Microsoft have to show that we have not seen yet. And then you talk about acquiring new studios, and we don't know what new projects they have in place. And Obsidian has 2 games that they're working on. Obviously, Avowed, and then the secret project that the head of Obsidian is working on. So, yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's an exciting time to be an Xbox gamer.
Yeah, it's a lot. They're also they own the entire Western RPG market with the exception of CD Projekt Red. So it's crazy.
Huge, very huge.
But yeah, Cal, I do appreciate you coming through to discuss this because, like I said, I feel like Xbox is going to find himself in the news like every freaking week, whether it be little, small, or major. And I feel like this is one of those major things, whether it probably means little to us, but GameStop, like I said, their stocks went all the way up today, which is a first in a long time because of this. So that means you obviously, Wall Street has confidence in Microsoft because every time they touch something, it increases something. So I appreciate you guys all for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll have more, videos for you soon. We're going to be talking more about, PlayStation and my reaction to the Xbox new ad tomorrow. So make sure you guys hit this like button. Also, look out for me and Kal-Al's podcast. We'll have more details on that soon. So it's going to be awesome.
No doubt.
As always, Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're out of here. Peace.